I'm the fuck out. I didn't even get started on what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Bro, that movie was crazy.
Crazy, Frankie. Yeah.
I was like, what are the specials tonight?
That sounds good. I'll have that.
Hey everybody, Specialists in Nothing, back at you again, talking about everything, specializing in nothing. My name is Frank. As always, Joe and Danny, you guys want to say what's up?
What up? What up?
How you doing? As ready as I'll ever be.
So
How do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, see, here's the thing.
People are preparing for it.
Let me ask you this first. When and if it does happen, how do you think that the world is going to end? How do you believe?
How do I believe? What do I believe?
Or yeah.
How do I think the world's going to end?
Mhm.
I have many different fun ideas.
Okay, what's the one that you believe like the most realistic?
Most realistic? All right, I'm not saying most likely a war is going to happen. There's going to be a war, and it's going to be a nuclear war. It's going to wipe everything out. That's what I think is going to happen, because there's
I'm so happy that you said that.
like a full extinction needs to happen, will happen. It's happened before, time and time again.
A full extinction needs to happen.
Yeah. Do you think we're the
You sound like
you
the
think
people
we're
that
the
came up with COVID.
No, I'm just saying, like, do you think we're the first civilization on this planet? Like, the universe has been around. The dinosaurs haven't even been here for 65 million years. So
hang on,
since the dinosaurs,
wait,
what's up?
You're getting into so many
I'm
things.
getting all
about to
over.
talk
You're
about
right.
now. No. Well, so I brought this up because I've been into this show, The 100, recently, and this is why I wanted to talk about this right later.
Oh, you wanted to interrupt what I was saying to say what you were saying.
No.
Okay.
Listen,
No, go ahead, please.
you hit a couple of things that I already wanted to go off of. That's what I'm saying on the way you were talking. So I just don't want to miss this. But so
Get this shit down, bro.
So I've been very into the show. It's very about the end of the world. It is about a nuclear war that happens, kind of. But you also said like that the Earth has been here for how long do you think we're the first civilization? So when I was looking up today after we decided we were going to talk about this, it says that the Earth has been around for 4.5 billion years.
It's a lot of billion.
And it says that it actually should be sustainable to be able to be lived on for another 1.5 billion years. So
if we don't fuck it up.
But that's what I was going to say is people
Which
say
my
like, oh, we fuck it up and this,
we're going to fuck it up.
But that's scientists saying that even with the things that we've already done, that it's still 1.5 billion years left. So obviously we haven't fucked it up as bad as some environmentalists try to make it out to, I think.
I guess.
I'm sure we could treat it better. Don't get me wrong. But like 1.5 billion years is a lot, but exactly what you just said. I think it could be quicker than that if it was some nuclear bomb or something like that. Radiation waves killing off all the water, the fish, the animals, the things like that we have.
Killing off the water. Killing off the water.
Well,
I get what you're saying.
So that's what
I get what you're saying.
The radiation
polluting the water.
Exactly, and all the fish were just dead in the water and blah, blah,
dead in the water.
So, but what would you like? Do you think you would honestly be like? Because I say this all the time. I say it to Karen. I've been into the show, and I'm very big on talking about this the last couple of weeks. I think in the end of the world type of like
situation
scenario, yeah, I think that I would survive, or at least for a while. Like I don't think
Frank, I love you to death, bro, but I don't know, man. I'll give you 4 months, maybe 5 months tops. Nah. Realistically, I
stupid survival skills just
from, I know,
like always looking it up and like because it's stuff that interests me. But I don't know.
You a hunter gatherer now? All of a sudden,
I do. I just feel like I'm hunter gatherer. Savage. There's no laws anymore. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Let's go.
Wait, who says there's no laws? Just because?
Well, I'm saying like if it's the end of civilization and blah blah blah, like cool, because I'm referencing the show again. So let me say that in this show.
What is the show?
It's called The 100. It's like this nuclear bomb goes off, and they send however many people they can to this space station, and it's 12 like space stations that go up to this ring, and they like join together. It starts out as 13, but they don't tell you that in the beginning of the show. So
you just spoiler alerted it to everybody.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Well, it's 7 seasons in, so it's not like it's a spoiler, but So premise of the show though, they've been up in space for 97 years now after the radiation waves, and they want to see if it's okay to go back down to Earth because their oxygen is running out in the space station. So they send 100 kids or teenagers down to Earth to see if it's habitable. And they were like kids that were locked up for like crimes and stuff like that.
Like selling weed.
Whatever it was, treason, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So they
what year does this take place? Depends on what the crimes are, actually.
So it's like 97 years in the future from now. It's like 21 something or whatever.
All right. So tell me about this. What happens with the 100?
So now they go down, and there's people that made it. There were some people that were like deformed from the radiation. There's some people that like adapted. They call it night blood, but it's like black blood that like, where they can like handle more radiation and stuff. So like certain things that happened after the storm,
their body was reacted in a certain way.
Well, there's like black rain. It's like rain that like burns like acid or whatever, and like it doesn't really affect them as much as regular people. This type of what?
Oh shit!
So in the show, it's cool. Like there's these certain people they find that were locked in this bunker for the whole 97 years, and they never developed anything to the radiation. The littlest thing could kill them, but the ones that came down from space had a little more. The night bloods had the most, and like all this different stuff. But the premise of it was they send these 100 kids down, and they run into all these different people, and like now they're fighting for land because there's only so much, you know, greenery that's come back on the Earth so far.
Right.
And then come to find out, the 13th station, there was this woman that was on there that was developing an AI. The AI was to make the world the best possible everything, like to figure out how to sustain the world in the best possible way.
Okay.
And it was to kill off the humans because we were so bad for it. So,
which is true, and I think that is another good possibility.
So when she realized that the program was like just doing anything for like the world or whatever, but not for the human race, she realized she had to correct the program. So she started making a second program. The first program on its own released this nuclear bomb, and that's why the stations had to go to whatever. So she was on the 13th station, and they didn't want to let her there because of she was the reason that everything happened, basically. So they blew up the station that she was on, and that's why it was only 12 stations. And
did you just do another spoiler alert?
And that's why you find that out later in the show. And she ends up like escaping before her station was blown up, and like her pod goes out like right before. So she makes it down to Earth and uses her second AI to make like the world better. And it's crazy how they intertwine everything, and like the way they use like the future technology with AI, with the frozen cryogenic type of things that they do to like stay into the future, skip years, like all the stuff, the way they do. And like it just made me think about the end of the world in so many different ways. And that's why I wanted to talk about this tonight, because it had made me have like there were certain scenarios that like in the show that you would never.
8-minute background story about this show because that's the reason you wanted to talk about.
Because when I reference certain things now, when we talk, like you'll get it now a little more. Because so there's certain things that happened that made me think that, like scenarios, like, you know, when you watch something, like you see something, you're like, oh my God, would you do that? So there was this one moment in the show when they were locked in a bunker because there was a storm coming. They had to wait for a period of time. This building collapsed on them, and they were trapped under there for like a few years. To survive, they had to eat other humans.
Each other? Yeah.
So the ones that, again, like committed crimes, did things wrong, whatever, were the ones they would pick
people
off.
Who sold weed.
Or then
they were the ones first
to not do, like people that didn't want to eat. Or this now
people
like,
didn't want to eat each other.
Yeah, like, okay, well then you're going to be the next one to be sacrificed, whatever.
That'd be crazy, bro. Imagine you had to like eat your own family member.
Do you think you could eat someone? Like, do you think if me and you were in a bunker and I did die before you, do you think you'd be able to eat me?
Bro, you'd be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. With leftovers on Thursday. Like, I'll be all right.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I'd be able to do it too. Just because I mean it's the same thing like any other meat that we eat, like cows and stuff.
That's it. Just watch out for cartilage in the bone.
Yeah. So
how do you
think I'd be able to do it too? But I think the sentimental thing would get me on certain parts. You know what I mean? Like exactly. If it's somebody you knew from the day before, like that's
if
tough,
it's me or them, I'm not gonna be hungry, I'll tell you that. Right now. I'll fucking eat, motherfucker. I worked in a restaurant long enough that I know how to prepare most dishes with
I've worked in the
little to nothing.
And I know how to butcher an animal, so I'm trying to figure out how to butcher a human. No, but It's
Okay,
crazy because
so
in that situation, like, so I asked.
well,
two
first
other
of all, let
people-
me ask you a question. How do you get into that situation? You know, the world just doesn't end. There's going to either be, in my opinion, a nuclear explosion between countries, and the aftermath is going to be worse than the actual bomb itself because there's so much radiation and it's going to be covering the sun. It's going to be a huge dust cloud. So just from that,
the
crops and food are
radiation
going to
is
grow.
just like literally in the air, like so it would just like literally burn your skin in a sense, or
It'll
like
dispose,
exactly
yeah.
pollute things or get into your lungs. Like there's so many different ways that it like comes through. Like think about like they use radiation to kill cancer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
It fucks with your cells. You know,
and
people
that's
be
at a low
mutated,
level.
shit like
You're
that.
talking about a
Yeah.
nuclear bomb that's at an
Explosion,
extreme level,
yes,
so it's
100%.
different.
So now here's the question, where you see all these like apocalyptic movies and stuff about people finding refuge and teaming up and gathering and stuff. Like, would you want to live through all that? You know, in my opinion, I'm like, fuck it, just take me out in the first wave. I don't want to be second or third wave because
I'd rather survive as much as I can to try and make it through. Like
for
because
what though? Life,
in that
what kind of
moment,
quality of life you're gonna have for the rest
I
of
get
it?
that, but for trying to save the human race to make sure that it doesn't become extinct in that moment, like so you make
Are
it
you
through
a
the
fucking
first wave, let's say
superhero?
you die in the third wave. No. Let's say you make it through the first wave, but you die in the third wave. Like you're one of the couple of people that die in the third wave now. Your death probably was like a sacrifice to help the others live on in some way. Whenever you guys are running to wherever you got to get next, or this, blah, 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 you were the one that tripped and got left behind or snap, but other people got to make it there, or you had to sacrifice to do something to let someone else make it, or so your death is not in vain at that point. It's because you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'd rather be one of the ones to fight on rather than get wiped out right in the beginning.
All right, so let's say hypothetically, alien attack, right? And I'm talking like War of the World aliens, where they're capturing motherfuckers for prisoners of war, okay? And you're a motherfucker running in the streets. What the fuck, bro? How are you gonna survive that shit?
I don't know. Fucking.
You're gonna.
Really
you said you want to survive the second and third wave. Here
I
it
mean,
is.
you know, obviously most of that stuff would be on the fly. It depends on the situation of what would happen. Like you could throw out a million scenarios, but see, for me, I'd be more interested in like the what was I gonna say?
I don't know. What were you gonna say?
Oh, like you said, so if nuclear war, like the aftermath of this, and that, I'd be more interested in the exactly like I said earlier. There's no laws now. Like what happens? What decisions are you gonna make? Where are you gonna go? So let's say
it's every man for themselves at that point.
So a nuclear bomb hits in New York. You have
in New York, you're dead. You're dead.
Well,
let's be realistic.
It's got a radiation blast. You're
no way. In
whatever.
New York,
you're in.
Let's say it hits North. No.
Let's say you're in
Minnesota.
Fucking
Canada,
basement somewhere or whatever, and like house collapses on top of you. You're fine. You end up surviving for some reason. Blah blah blah. What's your first move as soon as you come out?
Like get out of the rubble.
Like,
probably,
it's okay to go out, back out now, and like whatever. What's your first move?
Probably supermarket. Get something to eat. Look for some water. You know, just eat something. Try to find some type of I don't know, weapon, ammunition, something. Get a nice car. I'm sure nobody's driving those anymore because there's, you know, apocalyptic shit going on. So just jack someone's car and start driving around and be like looking for other people. Like, yo, who survived?
Hey.
Hashtag.
But now, so that's so you'd be looking for other people. You'd be friendly. You wouldn't want to like just be looking for stuff for yourself or like.
No, I mean, look, we're at this point. It's a general. At that point where it's like almost extinction level of the human race, you really. It's unfortunate that you get into this fight or flight type of mode where it's either you're kill or be killed instead of us coming together to be like, yo, you and me, we met up. Let's make our shit together. Like, I would probably be more someone like, yo, truce. We got enough shit to worry about right now. I don't want to worry about you stabbing me in the back.
I would feel like that exactly. I would want there to be peace and like there to be some type of, you have to keep civilization to a certain extent and like the way we had things. But exactly,
most people are selfish and they will be like, no, I need to feed my family. And I get that.
Don't get me wrong. In a situation of a threat or it's not, I'm okay with that. But exactly, if there is no threat, there's no reason to automatically like, certain people in that situation, you see someone else, it's automatic, like, you know what I mean,
Right.
without even asking a question or whatever. And yeah, I do. I feel like, so same thing again, referencing the show, because I am going to reference it a lot this episode, but there's a lot of people in the show that say like, oh, well, from my people, like, so because now further down in the show, there's like different, you know, clans of people, or they call them clans, but it's like different.
Is there a
groups of people.
Wu-Tang clan?
But there's like, you know, different groups of people, different
Okay.
neighborhoods, if you will, whatever. And they're always like, oh, from my people. I'm trying to do the best for my people. And it bothers me every time they say that in the show, because I feel like in that situation, I would be like, what makes your people more important than any other person? Because I wouldn't even say my people, because we're all just fucking people. You drink water,
We're
right?
all
You eat
humans.
same fucking food,
For
right?
the most
So
part.
we're fucking equal. Like, you know what I mean? To me, that just irks me every time I hear that. So yeah, I do feel like in the end of the world, I would be more to try and be like that for.
Would you still cut people off and ride the shoulder?
But yeah,
You
absolutely.
jerk off.
but I do feel like, you know, exactly, if there is someone that turns into an enemy, so to speak, because of something they do or whatever is against you, or, you know, to hurt you or blah blah blah, then yeah, it'd be a different story. But I wouldn't go looking for that first. I feel like there are a lot of people that would, though.
Okay. See, I also feel like you can't be so defensive, because let's just say there's a guy who's coming to attack your family. And let's just say, let's just say you and this other guy get into an argument or whatever. Even after this guy what the fuck am I trying to say? You can't be so defensive, because at one point somebody else is going to attack your family in turn of hurting you. Like, you got to be mindful of your family. Don't be like, oh, you know, my family's going to eat this, I'm going to kill you for that. Because eventually there's going to be someone bigger than him who's going to kill him, and then his family's going to get slaughtered. So it's better off to just be a sweet person in the very beginning, you know? Like, when the apocalypse happens, you're like, hey man, I know what you're going through, I feel you, let's get through this together.
Strength comes in numbers no matter what. So
yeah, dude, but you kidding me? We're all alive and we can't even all agree on something. Like, love is a universal language. Everyone wants to fucking fight. Well,
it's funny, and that's why it's like, because I said that to Karen the other day, like when I was watching the show, and I was telling her like how it was bothering me that this guy was saying that. I was like, that's fucking racism right there. Like, what we go through now, like, just because in the show he's saying, oh, my people, like, it's the same fucking thing. Like, exactly like what we go through. Like, that's why I think that'll always be a problem. I do, no matter what, because
everyone forgets that we're just humans.
Yes, and exactly. And someone looks at a certain type of group of people as their own because they look closer to them or act closer to them or whatever.
Right.
And it doesn't always necessarily have to be race. It could be a certain like
religion or belief, whatever,
or exactly belief,
idea,
religion, anything. But exactly, those are the type of people that kind of stay grouped together, and which causes this fucking division. And I don't feel like that's something that's ever going to be solved for that reason, because certain people's mentalities are so focused on the comfortability of the people that they're familiar with, and they label that as my people in a sense. You know what I mean?
You all right, bro?
Yeah, I'm good.
No, I feel you. It's unfortunate. So, given the situation of the world ending, I'm going to say, whether it's nuclear or some type of war that happens, the next couple months, years are going to be ridiculously like horrifying for everyone, whoever survives it, however they survive it. But let's think of a different scenario. Let's say that there's a giant tidal wave that wipes out like New York. Let's do this. Let's say there's a fucking asteroid that hits in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
But not like the entire human race, but just like
not even right, but not even a country. It lands in the ocean, and it causes a mass tidal wave, typhoon, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Tsunami. That's the word I was looking for. I think I said it before. I must have forgot what I meant to say. And like, all countries are affected.
Have you ever seen one of those hit?
No, not in real life.
Well, like
on YouTube, I've seen some shit.
I mean, like videos, like it's scary. Like I've seen.
It's a giant fucking wave coming at you.
But I've seen some videos of people that have had certain things on camera from like, nowadays things like that happen. And
right.
I'm not talking about like exactly like a title like what you're saying, but like 100-foot wave. Like there was some surfer that rode like some 120-foot wave not long ago in some country that I saw a TikTok on. And I was like, holy crap. But there's videos that I've seen of waves that exactly hit shores that are like 50, 60, 80-foot waves and just wipe these houses out. And they had like Ring doorbell cameras and you just see the water come before it hits.
Damn.
It's crazy. Could you imagine be walking down the street and just see a fucking wall of water 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times the size of you just coming? Like, dude, I'm sorry if I walk and I turn around, I don't think I'm running. I think I'm just gonna stop and be like,
so this is how it ends.
like, you know, like I'm just gonna take the second to
What are you
appreciate
gonna do?
the wall of water
That's
90
it.
feet
This
high.
is how I go. Dude, because even if you did make it past the initial slap, what are you gonna do? Hold your breath for 8 minutes before you get back to the top?
And that water's dragging you through a city with cars and this and that. Like, even if you did make it through the initial
You're
slap of the water,
rumbling through everything.
yeah, like think about getting pulled in a normal wave on the beach. Now think about doing that through a city. Like, that's crazy. Like, you'd be dead on
Yeah,
first contact with something.
That's nuts. So now you could picture that fucking tsunami hitting North America, South Africa, Europe, probably some of Greenland or Iceland, or if it's going to be hitting in that kind of area. And then, dude, just fucking what?
Well, no,
what even happens?
Too. I was just saying the water doesn't just dissipate at that point because that much water, like a lot of cities that things like that happen to, you see the streets like, you know, have feet of water after and stuff. So it'd be crazy. There'd be a lot of dead bodies around. The people that did survive would be whoever made it to high ground or into a structure of some sort that was sealed or blah, 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 or something that withstanded the wave. So
here's something crazy. Here's something crazy. Let's say, what if there was this happening? Let's say an asteroid was coming for Earth, and same thing. It was going to land in the ocean, but it wasn't going to be a global extinction. It was just going to hit really hard at the Earth, and like the Earth gets shook out of its gravitational pull, right? And we don't notice this for like,
because then we wouldn't be near the sun. We would freeze.
Okay, let's just say it comes out of this fucking motherfucker's talking about.
I'm just
3 degrees to the left.
No,
I get what you're saying. You're right. So then let's say it doesn't pull us out of our gravitational orbital pull, but let's just say that the motherfucker hits us real hard. It rocks us like a motherfucker, like me coming into the second round with you. You remember how hard that hit?
We do.
Let's just pretend the Earth gets hit that hard, right?
They won't even see it coming.
Oh man, no, Earth wouldn't know, but the people wouldn't because the government's like, shh, we'll tell them 10 minutes before it's about to... Oh man, that was good.
Yeah. I really didn't though. But no, good.
So all right, so a meteor hits, doesn't cause that much of a rapid, it's not an extinction, but it does obviously damage the Earth. What if the fucking asteroid like hits something into the core of the Earth that it like cracks or something opens, or the tectonic plates? Tectonic plates that they shift, right? And motherfucking Godzilla comes out from the center of the Earth,
God,
bro. I've been praying for it. You have no idea.
I was thinking more like I would believe you more if you said like we finally saw like a megalodon or like mermaids came out from where they were in Atlantis,
or like Atlantis
like
or some shit. Like
that would be something more cool to say, but like this motherfucker said Godzilla is gonna come out of the center of the Earth, out of the magma.
Motherfucker. First of all, we said when the world ends, okay? Pretty sure Godzilla has something to do with the world ending. Not Atlantis and the mermaids coming back to be like, hey man, I like your show, bro.
I know you believe in that, so I would have appreciated that theory better than Godzilla.
Okay, well, we could get into both of them, but Godzilla would be fucking horrifying. Are you kidding me?
I'm actually gonna take a hard right at a fork here and change this and say I read 2 things today that I thought were interesting that I wanted to bring up. So when you
look back of a cereal box and
when you look up what day is that the world's gonna end, it says that according to the Bible, it does appear that it's gonna be October 7th. That the day that God has spoken of in which the world will pass away. So that was one thing that I read. The other thing that I read was
October
according-
9th. So
according
it's
to
like
no, listen.
you get
According
one day
to
of
the-
anxiety.
Wait, because you're getting like funny, but watch. I'm gonna
All right,
freak
let's
you out
hear
for a
it.
second. According to, and these are two different sites now. According to the predictions of, let me say this right, Riaz Ahmed Gohar Shahai's Book of the Religion of God, they predict that the world is going to end in 2026. So now, what if
October
the world
7th?
ends on October 7th, 2026? You're talking 4 years from now. What would you
That's
do?
how
Like
I feel.
if you really just figured out, like, oh
What
my
do
God,
you
the world's
do?
going to end in 4 years. What are you going to do with the next 4 years?
Live my best life like I'm doing right now. Except be
You wouldn't
super
change
happier.
anything from what you're doing right now.
Of course, but you're supposed to change your life every day for the betterment of yourself. So continue to do good, positive shit for yourself. And in 4 years, regardless of whether the world ends or not, you'll still be in a better place. Ja feels?
No, but see, I'm not saying like if it does or not. Like, well, like I'm not saying if you're putting it up to faith. I'm saying like, let's say this was some real fact, not like someone's faith or some like.
Okay, so
religion.
like
it was a real fact, and you're like, oh my God, date, timer, world is definitely ending on this time.
all right,
Would
so like
you
hypothetically,
choose to
NASA
try
comes
and,
out
like,
and tells us that there is an asteroid coming, a global extinction
Whatever it is.
in 4 years. That's the only thing
Would
that's
you
kind of definite.
whatever life's
I don't
gonna
know.
die in 4 years, whatever it is, would you choose to try and start trying to figure out if you can get off the planet? Would you just enjoy the last 4 years? Would you like what would you try and do?
Acid, probably. I'd try acid. I mean, if somebody was like, "Hey, man, you got 4 years," I'd be like, "Who knows where I can get some acid?" No, I'm just fine. I'm messing. I don't know. 4 years, I guess. At that point, you just if it's a definite hundo p, right? I'm taking out a fucking loan and I'm traveling the world.
So you're just gonna enjoy the rest of your days.
That's it, man. You got to. What are you gonna
man.
fight for? It would be interesting to go to another planet, but then you're the first motherfucker on that planet.
I'd try and figure it out.
What if there was other alien beings that eat humans?
What if my aunt had balls? She'd be my uncle. What if anything is the point of it?
It's funny
I just
because
like you could say what if to anything. The point is I'd rather choose to try and find a way to live on than just be like, well, that's my timer.
then accept it. Okay,
Yeah,
so then you
accept
know
it.
what?
Exactly. And the reason I
Interesting.
ask this too is because again, going back into the show, there's like a group of people, they find out this death wave is coming. So like after they land, they've been there for a couple years now. They find out this death wave is going to come, and they're going to have to stay in bunkers or wherever they can safely for 5 years before they'll be able to come back out again. So there's like 20 something people that are just like, nah, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, I like, what are we fighting for at this point? Like, just to keep trying to fight to survive. Like, and they were just over it.
Right.
So they had these things called like Joby nuts that were like these nuts they found that like made you trip. And to go out with the bang when they knew the storm was coming, they all just tripped out on this Joby tea or whatever, and like were like hallucinating and stuff when it ended, and they just went out, whatever.
That's pretty
And
interesting.
it's funny because the reason why I said before I was here, Jasper, the kid that ran the whole thing, his name was Jasper. He was like this like stoner kid in the show or whatever, and he just didn't want to fight anymore. He was upset because everyone like that was close to him got taken from him. And yeah, so I was just like, what type of person would you be in that moment? Exactly. Would you just like, you know what? I need to try and enjoy whatever.
Well,
and I'm gonna piece this out, or like, no,
listen,
fuck
you
that.
could
I'm gonna
try
find
it.
a bunker. I'm gonna find us something. I'm gonna get somewhere to make sure that I can live on and prepare.
See, but all
possible.
of that preparation for the next best thing is like, I feel, I don't want to say like it's too much work, but think about it like this. You got 4 years and you know the world is going to end. Instead of preparing to go start it, on a new world, see this one. You've been here. You're here now. You're only going to have this
but
time.
then you're limiting yourself to only 4 years.
No.
I'm saying that what if by doing it the other way, what if you make it more than the 4 years? Like, wouldn't you rather fight for the chance to have more than that clock?
But then what? To be cryogenically frozen for 100 years to go find something? But you don't even know the possibilities of this habitable. Like,
I'd rather face the unknown possibilities than knowing the possibility that I'm definitely going to die at this time soon.
All right. Okay, so let's play the first 6 months. You land on this new planet. What are you doing for 6 months?
First thing, finding
So
some
let's
type
pretend
of
you're not a
food,
father.
water.
You're not a father.
Yeah, I hear you. Like by myself, I hear you.
Yeah.
First thing I'm doing, trying to find some type of food, water, shelter. So
Okay,
whether
so
it's
time out.
building
Is
shelter,
it just you, or is there other people with you? Because you're like some
well,
type of
you said
bunker
just
or
me,
ship
so I'm
thing.
assuming it's
No,
just
well,
me. So
I'm
like, let's
asking
say it's
you,
just
like,
me.
how would you,
And like
if
I'm
you're
the only
leaving
one
the
that wakes
planet,
up
you're
out of this tomb or whatever happens. I'm the only one that
cryogenically
has
frozen.
yeah,
You and
and
how
I'm
many
the
other
only one
people
that
are on the
happens to
ship?
survive it.
I'm not sure.
Oh, me and 100 people are on the ship, you said?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, if you and 500 people are on the ship, you think,
Okay, so let's say it's like the show. Me and 100 people get or sent somewhere to make sure it's whatever. I'm gonna try and tell them or give my input to say, depending on who takes lead.
Sure.
I would try and like say, listen, we need to try and figure out how to find some type of shelter for us because we don't know what kind of animals other people here. This blah blah blah.
whether or
Just-
how long the sun takes to
Just
fucking revolve around the
of
planet.
however many factors there are, exactly. We have to have some type of shelter, but no matter what, we're gonna have to eat and drink before we starve or whatever. So, but there's a lot of different ways that you can gather water, even if there's not like a creek or this and that. If you have a field of grass every morning when the sun comes up, from it being colder at night, as soon as the sun hits, there's precipitation on all the leaves. So if you have like a grass field, there's literally drops of water on everything that you can gather, harvest, collect, all this stuff. So there's a lot of little ways that you'd have to put certain people to work on certain things, chopping down trees to make actual.
How was
shelter
somebody
and certain
supposed
things.
to gather water droplets on blades of grass?
I could show you one day if you want.
I would love to know
I
that.
swear to God, so there's this guy that I watched, Donnie Dust, and he's like a survivalist, and he does all this stuff. He like breaks down, like shows you how to make like tools from like nothing, like from rocks and sticks and this and that, and like rocks breaking them on against each other, and
Holy shit.
drilling holes and stuff with sticks that are spinning and like crazy shit, like cool survival stuff. But that's why I said I'm very into that. So like, it's all about though putting certain people onto certain tasks. Like, okay, so some people are going to
Delegating what people do.
Who are your strongest people? Who's going to be able to go hunt, find some type of animal, some type of whatever? Who's some people that are your weakest people that can go gather, that can find some type of berries or fruits or whatever, this and that, anything like that, any vegetables, anything that we can find like that. Also, gatherers, you're going to need firewood. You're going to need people that can collect water. So there's a lot of different things that you're going to have. You're going to need people that can find certain things to medically help you, because there's a lot of different like plants and certain type of berries and nutrients and stuff that can help you too. You know what I mean? Like algae and stuff like that you could find that you can use
to help
make
reproduce
stuff.
the production of.
Exactly. It's also about identifying like who's with you. So if you have 100 people, which of us are doctors, who's engineers, who's who knows
Who's a plumber,
who's navigators, who's a tracker, who knows how to like.
So what I'm
like
saying is you're gonna have to start off on this planet the beginning, the first like year to 6 years of civilization on this planet. It's gonna be super difficult.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying
So
it wouldn't be
all
difficult,
I'm
but those are
saying-
the things you're gonna have to do to survive.
Yeah.
So whether it's exactly, you're gonna
But
have
see,
to
now
tread with
that's another thing.
caution,
You're gonna be
finding
leaving-
the area around
hold
you
on.
by slowly spreading out. You know what I mean?
But you're gonna be leaving the planet that you've lived on for 30 something years, not seeing it all to go try on a new planet.
Knowing that it's definitely gonna end, absolutely. If
This
I
is
know
the
that I'm
last
staying
few
there, it's
moments of this
definitely gonna
place.
end at this time, and you're telling me, even if it's 2 years before it happens, they're like, oh, but you can get off here now. But if you don't stay, in 2 years, this is gonna happen. I'm gone. I'm out. Later, you mean I have a better chance of surviving more than those 2 years out here? Peace.
2 years is different than 4 years. 4 years, I'd take the 4 years off and I'd travel. I'd see everything. I would go underground to
Well,
like
whatever it
those
is.
crystal caves up in the Arctic and find Superman's lair, and I'd probably take a picture with him. And then I would
The
go to
reason-
Swiss Alps and
The
ski
reason
my
I
ass
say
down
2
to get
years
some
is
chocolate.
because if you found
Bibbidi-bop.
if you found out this was gonna happen 4 years from now, you wouldn't be able to leave that day. You know what I mean? So obviously,
No, I
it
go
would
to the
take-
bank that day, get the loan for a new business I'm planning.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just that date threw something crazy on me. So I was like, wow,
That's
October
crazy.
7th,
So
2026.
let's check this out. The Mayans believed that the calendar was going to end when
Mhm.
December
2020.
December 12th, 2020 or December 21st?
I don't know. Wasn't it
12/21.
Oh no, what was the Y2K thing? For the year
2000.
2000.
The
But
year
that was like just the
2000.
computers, right?
There was supposed to be like a computer reset because
It wasn't
I
like
don't
the end
think
of the world or anything.
no, well they thought that it was gonna be the end of technology. It was gonna reset everything back to like Stone Age
Okay.
for some reason about that. That'd be crazy. Imagine that did happen though. Like imagine that was the end of the world where like all of our technology was just reset back like 300 years, 500 years. Electricity wasn't, well, I mean, I guess we would invent electricity again. Not that you need to invent it, but do you think they make it free this time? No, fucking assholes. Anyways, I don't know.
Oh, so the Mayans was December 21st, 2012.
Yes, right. So that now also I've read places that it wasn't necessarily the world ending, but it was going to be the human shift in consciousness. So like the humans evolved consciously on that day, and that closed the chapter. I'm not saying like the smarter people or the lesser smarter people. I'm just saying the people who are more in tune with themselves moved to another level of consciousness, and the people who more low frequency have remained low frequency, which there's nothing wrong with. It's just your level of energy on this planet. So I've heard things about that. I don't know. I mean, we're all still here. So I remember the fuck, bro. I had a countdown. I was writing a countdown on my fucking wall because I was like, whatever. If I go, I don't gotta clean it off.
So can I be honest with you now?
Oh, so the whole time you've been lying to me, fucking dickhead, man.
No, this is a new thing.
Tell me.
I don't even think any of this is gonna happen.
You don't think any of what's gonna happen?
So like, I don't think that anytime soon that as the human race, the world, or anything like that is gonna end. Like, so some of the stuff that I've looked up is that they say that humans have been around for about 200,000 years, and that they should give us an estimated about 800,000 years to still be around. But some scientists believe that it could be millions, or millions longer. And if you
I'm
look
listening.
up, like,
Hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm listening to you, but I'm trying to research something else that I have also.
I was
So
gonna say, if you're trying to look this up, like just type in "will humans
no,
go
no.
extinct?" That's like what comes up. And I don't think anything like this is gonna. I don't think that we'll have like a nuclear war. I think we've had world wars before. I think like that we could have another war. I don't think it'll be a world-ending war. I don't
Right.
think that we'll see the world end in like the next 50 to 70 years for our time period before we die, like our generation. I don't think it'll be anytime soon. To be honest with you, I feel like it's just a fun or cool thing. Not even fun. It's just an exciting thing to talk about because it's
Okay.
a what if thing, or like something that people are
Right.
interested in.
For
because
me,
it's
I feel
something
like
that
it's an
we know we'll never
impounding
see.
feeling of doom.
Okay, that's
Impending feel of doom, where like I just feel like shit is going on. I feel like maybe mentally I not predicted, but I premonitioned. I had a premonition of no, because it wasn't necessarily a premonition.
Mhm.
Let's just say the way I thought the world was going to be rolling out is kind of how it's rolling out. It doesn't make sense. It sounds weirder when I say it out loud. Frank,
Yeah,
stop me
that's
from talking. What am I saying?
I don't know, but that's the second time you did that tonight. You good?
I don't know. Now I just lost train of thought because I am exhausted though. I've been working like 6 days. Well, I mean it's irrelevant, but
I hear you, though.
I don't know. I can't figure out what I was saying. But you were saying something about the humans being around for 2,000 years.
200,000 years.
200,000 years. Okay. Yes.
And that it says that we should be around for at least another 800,000 years.
If we take care of
like the human
ourselves
race.
and the planet.
No, but even if, just because based off the population and the numbers that we'd be here.
Okay. But then.
Because at the rate that we've taken care of the planet, even for the last 2,000 years that they're going by, and the rate of people that we have, and it's not, they're saying that's what I mean. We could be okay for at least another, 800,000 to 100, whatever it is, 1 million years.
How many millions of years?
Blah, 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 blah. But no,
I don't know. I mean,
this thing that I just saw says that psychology says that it's comforting to talk about an apocalypse. So I wonder why that is. That's weird.
Because it's a common fear that everyone shares and everyone has an idea. Think about it like this, bro. Think about AI taking over. Think about global climate changing and HARP and like chemtrails and shit. I'll talk about that for a fucking day. Weather control. Let's be real. I do think that the weather can be controlled. I'm not saying whether or not some people are doing it or not. I'm just saying that they release metals into the air at that high altitude, and it gets mixed in with clouds, and then they use frequencies from like waves from towers to either create winds or storms or fucking rain, precipitation. It can be done.
I'm sure
And,
that there's things that can be done for them to
you know,
do things in certain circumstances that need to be or whatever.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I don't think that they just like control the weather. I more believe in like all right.
I know
this is kind of like a shift a little bit, but not really, because it does kind of talk about the end of the human race in the sense of the end of the world.
Because I do think that some tornadoes or hurricanes with those type of high-end winds can be done like that. Yeah, like, where does all this wind just come from in the atmosphere? It's got to be coming up from somewhere.
That's not to like, that's what I'm saying. That's not like to control the weather. It might be for something to make something happen somewhere for some certain reason, but I don't think it's necessarily just to control the weather. Is what I mean. But so wait, because before I lose this train of thought, fuck, what was I just gonna say?
End of the human race.
No, I know. I said not that it's fuck. I hate when that fucking happens. That's why I don't want you fucking say anything, you fuck.
Yeah, okay, because I was already talking and you cut me off to tell me something.
Good.
All right, well, let me finish then, because now, whatever. All right, well,
you didn't even know what you were talking about twice so far. Fuck you.
So catch up. Think about like AI taking over instead. I was talking about chemtrails and shit like that. I don't know if that has anything to do with what you were talking about. I brought up like controlling the weather, metals in the air, frequencies, waves.
No, because I was gonna turn somewhere else when you said about controlling the weather.
You made a house with your hands.
So no,
did that help at all?
Not that I think of that, like what you're saying, like with the weather and stuff like that, but like, okay, so you know how we've talked about stuff like with the Avengers and stuff like that, about how like with, I don't want to say his name wrong again, but say it for me.
Thanos.
Yeah. So Thanos. With him, so we've talked about how they do like mind manipulation or mental manipulation and stuff like that, right? And how they do controlling and like they want to like make us think a certain way and whatever. You got movies like that come out and he snaps his finger, wipes out half the human race, and certain people watch that movie and go like, yeah, I'd be for that. Like, I've heard people have that conversation and say like, yeah, like we should have half the population out here. It would help us.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And then there's other movies now that have come out that have like the same thing, whether it was, you know, different scenarios or whatever, but always leading down to that, oh, this is better, or blah, blah, blah. A lot of that has been a conversation now. And then COVID comes around. I heard this thing the other day that like made me think about COVID differently and crazy. And I know, like, again, this is kind of like a shift, but it's really not.
So the way I think, apparently.
And so Pfizer and the FDA wanted to wait 75 years to release all the side effects and the documents, blah, blah, blah. And then they got released, and the first like 10 pages were like
10,000 pages.
Stuff. No, but I'm saying
they only released the first 10,000. Oh, okay.
But I'm saying the first 10 pages were just side effects of like crazy shit. So for the last 2 years now, while COVID has been going around, people that have been going to doctor visits, let's say you got COVID or you got the vaccine, then a couple months later, you're like, oh, I got this chest pain, like blah, blah, blah. And you go to the doctor, and this doctor didn't know the side effects from that vaccine could be regular heartbeat, or it makes enlarge the heart, or this and all the stuff that has come out now, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, well, you could have this. But they didn't know that it was COVID related. You know what I mean? Until now after. Why was that such a thing for so many years? Because all these deaths that came out that they said were like
COVID related.
Yeah. Or no, but all these deaths of people that came out since that were not COVID related, that they didn't know. Like, there's still been in the last 2 years a lot of people that have died from sickness, but it was like it was sudden. It wasn't something that was expected. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's been a lot of
kids having heart attacks while playing sports.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Like,
that's what you're trying to get at. Yeah.
Well, it's just been a spike in the
right. Like 25%.
Yeah, exactly.
25%. That's crazy.
So it's nuts because
of the deaths.
Don't you think that's related? And then, like I said, like,
I know it's related. I get what you're saying.
When you have people that are mentally like brainwashed to thinking that this is okay, and then something comes out like that, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, take this." it just to me like it does kind of
It's the
work that
sheep
way.
following. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I get what you're saying.
I know
I
it's
get what
kind
you're
of
saying.
not coming out right, but you get that.
So check this out. What if it was like I Am Legend and the world was ending? You know, and like you,
that was from a virus, right?
yeah. So let's say there's
What
a
if it was
virus
COVID?
where we're not going to call it zombies because we all know about zombies by now. But let's just call it like a virus where people were just getting really sick and dropping dead. You know, let's say it wasn't as contagious as just airborne. Say for whatever reason it was fucking transferred through blood, right? Or saliva, say. And like some of the population was just dying off. What the fuck happens next? You know, like what do we do with all the bodies of the people that are just done? Like a plague. Let's say a plague happens.
Not my problem.
What do you mean not your problem?
Survival of the fittest. Get me the fuck out of wherever the infected
Okay,
area
yeah.
is.
But like,
no, I'm kidding. I don't know.
but like, what do you do with the bodies that are just there?
Burn.
You got a fucking big ass backyard and you got to bring these bodies to your backyard. You can't just burn them wherever they die.
No, yeah, like wherever like you have like most bodies that make a big pile, burn them. That's
Would you
what
dig a
most people
ditch?
do in end of the world situation stuff because you're not going to spend the time burying that many, and by burying that many, you're taking up space on things, and like cremation is just the easiest thing, and like you're not even keeping the ashes, just letting them blow in the wind.
All we are is dust in the wind.
I mean,
You're my boy, Blue.
It's fucked up, but yeah, exactly. It's
Damn,
basically what it
that's
comes, how it
crazy.
comes down to. But that's the most efficient way. You know what I mean?
All right, so
And you're
let's
getting rid of
say
because like if it's a plague or like a virus, you don't want those dead bodies around because they're infected.
no
So
way,
you
exactly.
want to burn off all that anyway. So
What other ways could the world end? A sun flare? That'd be wild. Everything just burns.
that'd be the
That would
worst.
suck.
Yeah, what would be the worst way? Because that'd be probably the worst way.
What if
I mean-
like everything? What if we go through another ice age?
I'd
Like
rather
a
be frozen than burned.
All right, Captain America.
I'm serious. Like I'd rather freeze and the chance of us melting at some point in the future. No, but I'd rather freeze and freeze to death than like get burned from the sun coming too close or something like that. Or I'd rather it be like you said, like an asteroid making a tidal wave, or like
Yeah.
than an asteroid releasing magma everywhere. Like I'd rather it be cold than hot.
What if there was like a giant snowstorm and everything froze? Like you had to, like snow was literally like 10 feet above.
Like
Your
talking
door.
like Game of Thrones, the ice wall.
I'm talking like day after tomorrow type shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was dope.
You know?
Forgot about that.
Shit
Like
that.
yeah, I remember when they were running and you literally just see the stuff freezing as
Yeah.
the storm was coming through. That was a cool movie. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That's crazy, man. What else? I think like, dude, so since I saw since Terminator, I thought that like machines that would probably happen eventually. And now with how far we've come with AI, I really think that
Have you seen some of these robots? They
dude,
actually have facial expressions.
they
can talk to
do.
you,
They
can,
do.
There's some of these robots that are crazy, and then
Yo,
some
it's
of
only a matter of time before they work out the kinks so it doesn't look so animatronic. Once it starts to smooth out, you won't know if there's a fucking robot or it's a human.
No, that's what it says. That's not the factor where you're not going to know or not. It's the emotion. When they teach it how to show
How to mimic emotion.
Exactly. Because even if they get the looks down and the whatever, the talking will always be that non-emotional, monogeneric.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know about always, but I get what you're
Well,
saying.
It would be that dead tone until they taught it exactly how to act on feelings, even if they didn't understand feelings or whatever, like, but how to act it or say them out. I guess they would understand them, but they wouldn't feel them. So obviously, like, an AI or a robot or whatever wouldn't feel feelings, but it could understand the definition and know how to act out anger, act out sadness,
to understand what it actually is and feel those feelings.
Exactly.
That's
like,
crazy.
It can understand it without feeling it. So like,
all right, so
those are the things that like make me a little scared, because once they figure out that stuff, like even a lot of the videos that I see now, like you could tell it's a robot the way it talks and because of the tone and there's no emotion in the tone. Once they figure that out and they get past that part, that's when it's kind of scary. And yeah, it turns into like What if it's like a Terminator type of thing or iRobot type of thing?
That would be
I think
wild.
more like iRobot is more realistic than Terminator.
Do you think? All right. So do you think that like the robots will take over type of thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like where like they were made to like help us for things, but then they think they're more efficient and take over, or like try to control us, or in a sense, or make us slaves or prisoners or whatever it is. I could see something like that.
Do you think that the human race would be enslaved?
I think that if it became enslaved, it would be capable to break out.
I'm sorry, what?
Rebel. Like I think that like let's say iRobot really happened.
Right.
Let's say the end of the movie was successful and the robots take over. I think the human race at some point would eventually be able to rebel against and take back over.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. So what other ways do you think the world will end? When the world ends. Tell me Dave Matthews song. How would you want it to end?
I agree.
Not want it, but
no, not how I would want it, but how I think that it would most likely happen if it does, and it's not in like if we don't make it another billion years or whatever it is. Like let's say it's within the next like 100 years or something like that. I think it would probably be like you said, like an asteroid hitting the water or hitting some part of land that would affect us so hard to where it hurt civilization or it hurt like the plants or it hurt living things on the earth to where it then affected the rest of the human race. I could see something like that, like an asteroid or something like that. I don't think it would be a nuclear war, nuclear bomb. I don't think it'll be us fucking up the planet. I don't think it'll be anything like that. If it's anything, it'll be something that comes out of space out of nowhere.
You think, all right, what do you think is going to happen first? Aliens or an asteroid?
Aliens.
An alien attack or an alien encounter?
Encounter, because I believe we've already had them.
Okay. So I found a couple questions about the apocalypse here, and I want just like they're would you rather questions. So we'll go through them quick. There's only 12.
Okay.
Want to bang them out?
Yeah.
Would you rather be turned into a zombie or watch everyone you love get turned into one?
Watch everyone I love get turned into one.
Make your mic a little bit louder. Hold on, I can't hear you.
Watch everyone I love get turned into one.
Okay, so you're not going to be a zombie, but everybody else is going to be a zombie.
Yeah.
Oh, little Ariana is going to be a zombie when she grows up.
That's messed up. I was just going to say, I know that's so messed up to say and so selfish too. But yeah,
kidding me?
I wouldn't want to turn into a zombie. I'd rather
Dude,
be
I
a
would just
survivor.
I would hate to do it, but if they were alive and they just became zombies, they just rip their bottom jaw off and keep them on a leash.
Okay,
That's
Walking Dead.
Yeah, bro. That's my fucking goddaughter and my niece.
No, this just goes back to that you watch a show or a movie and think that it can actually work in real life.
Of course it could work, dude. You just walk around with a katana. I got one already, all right?
You'd have to cut off their arms too.
Not their arms, maybe their hands, you know? Oh, the little tiny baby hands. No, I can't do it. All right. Would you rather be killed immediately at the beginning of the apocalypse or live it out? I think we know this one already. You'd live it out. I think in certain situations, maybe I'd try to live it out for a little bit. But if it's like a fucking asteroid,
don't even try and take it back. You're a Jasper.
No, because I'm saying like
drinking
if it's
the
an
Joby
asteroid,
tea and taking the coward's way out. You coward.
Coward's way out.
You don't want to fight.
What am I going to fight for?
You don't want to fight for survival.
I'm tired most of the time.
That's what you're fighting for. I know, because exactly, you know that in the end of the world, you wouldn't want to wake up every day in the morning.
Yeah, I'd be like, fuck, man, I can't even
hunting
go.
Time, the sun's up, and Danny's like, give me 4 more hours. Went to bed late last night, bro. I was talking to 2 girls in the next village.
I was gathering the next village. What is this? Okay, would you rather escape the end of the world by living underground forever or in space forever? Ooh. Space. Hell yeah.
Tell me I can spacewalk in 0G.
Forget about it. I'd be like, yo, I'm going on the hose again today. Be like just floating in space.
We need
with
more
like
maintenance on the outer wall. I'll be back.
Oh, bro, I would straight up I'd go a mile out. I'd be like, hook me up to the string thing. Let me just float in space a mile out. Whatever.
A mile out, that's far.
That is far. You're right. That's mad far. That's mad far, especially in space. That's dumb far. Don't let me do that, Frank. Frank, don't let me do that. Frank. Frank, don't let me do that.
Ever, never.
Frank, if we're ever in space and I'm like, yo, I'm going out the hatchet.
I feel like I'd have to stop you from making a lot of dumb decisions now.
Dude, I feel like I gotta stop you from making dumb decisions now, so you could stop me from making dumb decisions while we're in space. All right, that's what I love about you. That's why we're friends. Remember this when we're in space. Okay, would you rather endure a natural apocalypse or one started by humans?
Natural. Because one started by humans would just be even worse chaos. At least if it was natural, you have the chance of the human race wanting to fight together. If it was because of the human race, like why something happened, that means there's already chaos and people are already fighting against each other.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. Okay. Would you rather know the date of the end of the world or know its cause?
Ooh, the date. No, the cause.
Yeah.
The cause, because if you know the cause, then you can automatically start working on a solution, not needing to know when you have to use it.
Maybe.
But if you know the date, how are you gonna figure out how you're gonna fix it?
How you gonna prepare for whatever the fuck it is? I get you on that. I don't know. I think maybe at this point again, give me the date. Let me know how long do I got time to travel the world,
only way
bro.
I would pick the date is if we already knew that there was another planet we could live on. Then I'd be like, okay, give me the date because I know where I could go.
Because I'm gonna start building my rocket shit right now. I'm going to Home Depot tomorrow.
I'm looking for Elon Musk to see if I can make him my best friend before the deadline.
Yep. Okay. Would you rather try to survive a global pandemic? Been there, done that. Or a third world war? Survive a global pandemic or a third world war?
Because we did survive a global pandemic.
I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up.
And you could say that because think about, I don't know the exact number, but think about how many people died in the last 2 years from COVID that we know of. I'm sure there's a lot that we don't know of, but
yeah, this is true. Okay, would you rather stay behind to search for your loved ones or move to a safer ground?
Oh,
I know.
Stay behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. You jump, I jump, right, Jack?
I was just to say, don't get me wrong. As much as I'm like, okay, I feel like I'd be a good survivor or whatever, I do think
there's no point of surviving if there's no one to survive for.
Exactly. You have to survive with everyone. So I would want to always go back for whoever it is, no matter what.
Hundo P. Okay. Would you rather share supplies with someone and risk running out or hoard them all and be alone?
Share.
Yeah, we talked about that. Okay. Would you rather leave an injured person behind or endure yourself by tending to their wound? I'm sorry, endanger yourself by tending to their wound.
In danger. Like I said, leave no man behind always.
Okay. Would you rather spend the rest of your life looking for someone you love or watch them perish? So I guess if you guys got split up.
I would rather look for them than know that they were dead because at least then there's a chance they're still alive.
True.
Like you'd always have that hope that they're still out there.
You lift me up with Would you rather run back to grab your most beloved memento or leave it behind and get to safety?
Wait, say that again?
Would you rather run back to grab your most beloved memento or leave it and get to safety?
Oh.
So you're running out your door. You got to go. I'm in the car. I'm like, Frank, let's go. You turn around. You look into the door. It zooms in. You turn back. You look at me. I zoom out. Slow motion. Frank, we got to go. You run back inside the house and you grab.
I want you to talk to me like a normal person.
I'm grabbing it.
What are you grabbing, Frank?
My mom's urn.
Yes. Okay. Solid.
Just because it's small.
Solid.
It's only like it fits in the palm of my hand. It's not like a big urn. It's a smaller one.
Solid choice.
Metal, and I would just want to keep that with me. That'd probably be the one.
That's it.
Thing that I'd go back for that.
Hell yeah, my dude.
That's like go back to Walking Dead. That's like when Carl goes back for the picture.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I have a picture that's it. That's my one thing. It's my whole family when I'm like 3 years old. You want to see it?
Sure.
You want to see it? Let's show the viewers if y'all interested real quick. It's right here. Okay, so
I feel like I have to do this now because this is right here also.
Well, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. I don't know if you could tell. This is.
Oh wow, yeah, that's everyone.
That's
I
everyone.
thought you meant like just like your mom and dad and your sister.
Hell no. So We got great grandpa, uncle, great grandma, dad, grandpa, mom, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, aunt, me, and then Deborah wasn't born yet, so I got this bitch on the side. But look at this.
The picture he would grab,
That's
Deborah's
it.
not even there. Oh no,
That's
what's
some shit. So,
all right. Hold on.
get it, boy. I got one more. Can you hear me still? It's right there.
That's what I would go
Nice.
back
That's a
for.
solid. That's a nice vase too, man.
I know this
Good
is.
shit.
I can't really because the background, but
Right there.
it's like got engraved roses and stuff on it.
And you know what, dude? It's like it's small enough to keep it in your pocket at all times.
When I
Hundo
went to
P.
go see Teresa Caputo, it was in my pocket.
Oh
The
yeah,
medium, the medium
Oh,
that
shit.
we went to go see. Yeah, I had it in my pocket with me.
that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, go
Okay,
ahead. Go. What's the last one?
Last one. Would you rather witness the apocalypse and live through it, or only know a post-apocalyptic world?
Oh, so like be born after it happened,
Right.
or actually witness it happen? I think I'd rather be born after.
Yeah.
If it was like that, I had to,
Like
if
that's
I
the
didn't-
only world you knew.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather like know that world because you'd be better survivor in that world
Probably.
than being one of the first ones to have to go into figuring it out.
And rebuild human civilization.
Mhm.
Yeah. Motherfucker. Like you going to a new planet to rebuild civilization. How you gonna do that?
I'm just saying, if I had to do it, I would rather do that. But if I had the option to be there after or be there during that, then I would choose after. But if you're telling me like, oh, either stay here or die or go choose a new civilization, then yeah, I'm picking that. But if it's
Then
go
I'm
choose
out.
the new civilization or be there after it's already built, of course I'm gonna be there after it's already built.
That's what's up. Okay, man. That's some shit right there.
This was a
That's some
good
end
one.
of the world shit.
Mm-hmm.
So here's something we didn't really talk about it, and let's roll this for a second now. We talked about some crazy shit that we think could happen, but we didn't say anything about the Bible and how it's supposed to be like fire rained down from the heavens, and the devil rose from this
Isn't it supposed to
from
be like what's the bugs? All the
Revelation, like the plagues,
fucking- No, I thought it was like supposed to be like a
the locusts.
yeah, locust, whatever you call them.
I think it's locusts. Yeah. So like, what is it? Revelations talks about the
Picture like
apocalypse.
Jumanji.
What's that?
Picture like Jumanji type shit. Just starting to like have
Yeah. Well, dude,
the
imagine
first
like,
one with Robin Williams, the good one.
yes, of course. That's the only one I thought of. How do you even like survive in time where like Noah had his ark? Imagine this motherfucker's building an ark and you're his neighbor, and every day you like collected his mail and shit, and then one day he's like, "Yo, there's a flood coming. I'm not taking you though. I got a bunch of these animals on board, so you should have been building a boat. All right, Jerry, instead of collecting my mail for me."
He did tell a bunch of people to.
He
do
told
the same.
everyone. He was like,
And they
"Yo,
just didn't believe
y'all
him.
want
They
to jump
thought it was
on me with
crazy.
this?" No, but like, would you help some? I mean, you would. You would definitely help someone build a boat. I would too.
No,
Fuck
well,
it.
not even that. If someone came to me and said like, "I saw this definitely," I'd probably believe them. I wouldn't be one of the ones in the town that'd be like, "This person's fucking crazy." I'd be like, "Yo, he saw this shit. We gotta help him." I will. I don't know,
I'd go to
but I
Home
do
Depot and
believe
buy
in
the
stuff
wood.
like that. So, yeah.
I don't know. I could believe in it too. Damn. All right. Well, well, you know what? Because I don't know. I guess what happened? I don't even know what I'm talking about.
That's 3.
That's it. We'll leave it at that. All right. So, I mean, that's a pretty scary way to think about the world ending. But now I'm glad that we know what each other would do given the situation. I do hope that I'm with you for most of them. Others,
Because now that I got some good survival techniques.
yeah. Also, you're gonna fucking eat me first chance you get, bro. All right.
I wouldn't pick you first.
Why? Because I'm not
You gotta
fat
pick-
enough.
Well, no, you gotta. It depends on who's wounded or who's like the one that's got to be like sacrificed.
How fun would it be if
Whoever did something wrong to us, or
if you're like happen to be in a group with someone you went to high school with and they used to pick on you and shit, you just like nudged him over and he sprained his ankle and he's like, "Well, I guess we got to eat Tom because he's no use to us now anyway."
no, I wouldn't be like that. But
Oh, man.
I will say this, and this is kind of fucked up. If you were one of the ones that was like the weakest link, I'd be like, Sorry, D.
What?
Gotta do this.
Thanks, man.
We're talking about
Appreciate it.
survival. Now we're talking about survival. We're not talking about how we're living comfortably now, being there for each other. So like we're talking about
No, you're
survival
right.
mode.
You're
I
right.
would
You're
be there
right.
for you as much as I could, but once you're like a
Fam.
goner, I'm like,
Bro,
sorry,
I would
bro, you're a
sacrifice
goner. I
myself
love
for
you.
Hundo P. I'd sacrifice. If I knew I was not gonna make it, I'd be like, yeah, I'll meet up with you. Give me a second. I gotta, pee real quick.
No,
I'd
not
turn
even.
around, slit my own throat, and be like, yo, eat me, dog.
See, well, I wasn't even thinking like that. Like I was thinking like if it was like exactly, I know I'm not gonna make it, but like I could help you get away or like whatever. Like I'd be like, yo, go save yourself. Make sure you go. Like
Hell
it's
yeah.
more important to make sure that at that moment, that's what I think it is. It's more
That
important to make
life
sure that stuff works.
finds a way.
Yep.
How crazy would that be if dinosaurs were still around? That's a whole nother topic. Let me not get into that. It's way too late for that. Are we good here?
Yeah.
All right. You wanted to say something before about Clinton.
Oh well, he commented on the Denver airport episode, so I just wanted to give him a shout out. I know you appreciated us doing that. He gave us that topic. I just want to let you guys know. You guys give us those comments. We really do listen to them. We really do read them, and we always like to show the appreciation to the listeners. So yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you to my cousin Jess and my friend Jess and her husband Will. Thank you to Jill for listening also. All my homies at the fire department too. Appreciate that. Thank you all for the likes, listen, shares, and follows. We appreciate all of your support and your subscribes to the YouTube. Thank you.
Later.